So, did anything interesting happen today? What just happened? I mean, what just happened? I have been sitting at work watching this live stream for 5 hours revealing the cast or the cast so far for Avengers Doomsday. This was so strange but so exciting and such creative marketing. I honestly loved it, even though some people may not be a big fan of it. Let's go ahead and break all of this stuff down. We're gonna get right into it, but before we do that, if you guys could hit subscribe, we're on the road to 3,000 subs and we're getting so close. Also leave your comments down below because I most likely will respond to them. I've got to know your thoughts on all of the people confirmed for this massive movie. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about each one of these cast members for Avengers Doomsday. So we start off with Chris Hemsworth returning as Thor from all of the previous Avengers movies. This isn't really surprising. I wonder what his character is going to do, but overall I wasn't super excited to see him because I just expected him to be an Avenger for this next movie. That plus him being in Deadpool and Wolverine in that one scene where he's crying with Deadpool, they're probably gonna play into that. But it's also weird because Deadpool himself wasn't announced in this video. Up next was Vanessa Kirby, who's playing Sue Storm. I have a feeling that the Fantastic Four are going to be more prominent than the Avengers in this movie, and that they're going to be taking a backseat while the Fantastic Four and Doom kind of take front and center. I think she's going to be either the first or second most important character of the Fantastic Four, and I think she's going to have a pivotal role in her own movie as well as this one. Then they of course showed us Anthony Mackie, our Captain America, who we just got a movie with Captain America Brave New World. That post-credit scene kind of setting up the incursions and the heroes fighting other heroes thing, which is definitely going to be a main influence for this movie. I'm going to make another video talking about what I think the plot is going to be for this film, because I have the feeling that we're going to be getting some Avengers versus X-Men stuff. Nonetheless, very excited to see Anthony Mackie return and kind of lead the Avengers now. And to pair right with Anthony Mackie, we have Bucky Barnes, Sebastian Stan returning in this role. Hopefully they give them some on-screen time together. Now, something I find really interesting about this is that Bucky is in Thunderbolts, and clearly if he's in this movie, he doesn't die in Thunderbolts, so thank God. This also won't be the last time we talk about that in this video. The next character that we see is Letitia Wright returning as Shuri from Black Panther. She's going to be the Black Panther in this movie, and whether or not we get a T'Challa recast in the multiverse or she continues to be the Black Panther moving forward, I'm excited to see what she brings to the table, because that kind of storybook ending that we had for Black Panther 2 on her chapter seems like there was not really much to go off of after that, so I'm really interested to see how she takes this step forward as the Queen of Wakanda. Next, they talked about a character that I kind of forgot about, and that is Paul Rudd's Ant-Man. I love how they gave him the little tiny chair in the video. I thought that was really cool, even though the video itself was like, again, 6 hours long. Ant-Man's probably going to be playing a really interesting role in this movie, considering where we left him off in Quantumania after fighting Kang. He's kind of in this weird state where he thinks everything's okay, but is it? Maybe he's trapped in some sort of other dimension. Maybe it's not on Earth. I'm getting ahead of myself. How are they going to address all of the events that happen in Quantumania? I mean, Ant-Man is in this movie, so we have to have some discussion on it. What they're going to be doing with this character, I have no idea, but I'm excited to see it because I feel like he's kind of a main Avenger now. Next, we have a character that I was genuinely shocked to see, and that's Wyatt Russell returning as the US agent. For one, I just wasn't expecting to see his name because he's not really that big of a heavy hitter in terms of Marvel characters. I would have much rather seen somebody else, but the more interesting thing is that he's, again, in Thunderbolts, just like Bucky. Them kind of spoiling Thunderbolts and revealing that he's going to be in this movie and he makes it out of that movie, Thunderbolts, is interesting, and it's, again, not the last time we see a character from this upcoming movie returning for a movie set after it. Don't know what they're gonna do with this character. He's probably gonna be teamed up with the Thunderbolts, and they'll probably be doing some task. Then we got the announcement that Tenoch Huerta is returning as Namor. This is really exciting considering his involvement with the Illuminati in the comics and the kind of romantic relationship that they supposedly have with Sue Storm. I don't know if they're gonna play into that. Maybe they will, because it's kind of a fan-created thing, but nonetheless, I think it's gonna be really fascinating seeing his character kind of go on the opposite side of the Avengers. They then show us the Thing, and well, duh, we knew he was going to be in this movie, just like the rest of the Fantastic Four. Next, they showed us a character that I'm actually really excited for, and that's the return of Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. I love Shang-Chi, and I really hope he's not just a side character in this. I hope he teams up with the core Avengers or the main Avengers in this film. I think he's here to stay for a long time in the MCU, so I'm really excited to see what they do with this character in this movie. I know I keep saying I'm interested to see what they do with this character in the movie, but I truly am. damn, there's so many different pieces on the chessboard right now, and seeing the people that they pick and what stories they can possibly tell with them, the chemistry between all of these characters, I find fascinating. But I just personally want Shang-Chi to be a main Avenger. Now, a character from the Thunderbolts that I did expect to make it out of that movie is Florence Pugh's Yelena. She's also going to be returning for Avengers Doomsday, and like Simu Liu's Shang-Chi, I hope she's a main character. Just in the names that I have just now listed, that's a lot of star power, and we haven't even gotten to the stuff later on, but having Florence Pugh be one of the main characters replacing Black Widow, I think fits, and Florence is an amazing actress, and I really hope that they just continue to build her moving forward with these movies. She doesn't have any superpowers per se, but like her sister, Natasha, the Black Widow, she's able to relate us to all of these bigger heroes because we're more like her than anybody else. Also, I want to let you know I'm going to be making a video talking about all of the characters we did not see in this reveal, and that's going to be super interesting, so subscribe for that too. We then get a big announcement that Kelsey Grammer is returning as Beast from the end of Marvels. He was also playing Beast originally in the, I believe, third X-Men film, but seeing what they're going to do with his character and having him interact with all of the other X-Men is going to be just so fun. I also get the feeling that if we're going to have an Avengers versus X-Men theme in this film, I think Kelsey Grammer's Beast is going to be one of the people who try to diffuse the conflict. Overall, I just think this is a great addition to the cast, and I was really hyped to see it. Another character that I didn't actually expect to see on this was Lewis Pullman's Sentry. We don't really know anything about his character because we haven't seen Thunderbolts yet, but it's another case of where we're seeing all of these Thunderbolts characters appear in this Avengers movie, so something clearly important happens in that film that we've not yet been privy to. Downey Ramirez is also coming back as Falcon, and if you're gonna have Captain America, you've got to have Falcon, especially after Brave New World. I think he was a great addition. I think he's gonna be very fun and action-packed, kind of like Winston Duke's M'Baku in this movie. Another character we were guaranteed to see here was Joseph Quinn's Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. Again, duh. And I think we're going to get Spider-Man in this movie, and having that friendship kind of blossom with Human Torch, Johnny, and Peter Parker is going to be really special because that's something fans have wanted for a long time, especially in live action. Another character that's definitely a fan favorite, and I think will be even more so after Thunderbolts, is David Harbour's Red Guardian. Another character that I guess survives Thunderbolts, and we'll see him in the Avengers movie, so I guess that'll be fun. We then got confirmation that Winston Duke is returning as M'Baku from Black Panther, and that is really exciting because he provides that comedic relief, but also just great action that I think is needed in these kinds of movies. I sense that we're going to get several different teams of characters doing different things, kind of like what we did in Avengers Endgame, and I'm definitely interested in seeing how M'Baku relates to all of these other characters. Up next, we have confirmation that Hannah John-Kamen is returning as Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp and Thunderbolts. Yet another Thunderbolt returning for the Avengers movie, even though we haven't seen Thunderbolts yet, so I guess, what, almost none of them die? I mean, hey, in test screenings and internally, the movie's testing extremely well, so I'm still very excited for this movie. It does kind of make me feel a little bit weird about it, knowing that these cast members are returning in the next Avengers movie, because, well, that kind of gets rid of some of the stakes for Thunderbolts, but I digress. So for me, it's at this point where things really start to kick off with the returning announcement of Tom Hiddleston's Loki. Just going from the ending of Loki season 2 with Loki being the god of stories, what is going to happen to him or with him in this movie in relations to Doctor Doom? I think him and Doom are going to have a lot of conversations, considering the conversations that Tony Stark and Loki had. He's going to probably recognize his face and know his history. It's just intriguing. Personally, don't think Loki survives this, and I think this is going to be his last MCU movie. Either this or Secret Wars, but we at least have to see Thor and Loki reunite once. So that's really exciting for me. I think Loki's one of my top 5 MCU characters of all time, especially after Loki season 2, but the excitement does not stop there. Right after that, we got the announcement that Patrick Stewart is returning as Professor X in Avengers Doomsday. I was super hyped when I saw this because, well, we didn't really get a full Professor X return in Multiverse of Madness with his version of the Illuminati. I don't think it's going to be that same version. I think it's probably going to be a live action version of the X-Men 97 Charles Xavier, or maybe it's a Charles Xavier from a different universe that we maybe haven't explored yet, or the universe that Monica Rambeau goes to at the end of the Marvels. And while that was extremely exciting, I was even more excited for the next announcement that his counterpart, Ian McKellen, is returning as Magneto. This might be my favorite announcement from this whole thing, just because we've wanted Magneto to return for so long. The implications that he could be related to Wanda and Pietro. There's so many different things that they could do with this, and having Sir Ian McKellen return with Patrick Stewart in these iconic roles for maybe one last time is super heartwarming, and I can't wait to see it. But it doesn't stop there. There's more X-Men. We've got Alan Cumming returning as Nightcrawler from X2. Nightcrawler is just such a cool and interesting character, and very shocking to have him come back after Deadpool and Wolverine. I could see him being in that that movie, but he wasn't in it. Now bringing him back for this Avengers Doomsday movie is questionable because I don't know where he's going to fit in all of this. Probably like some of the Thunderbolts, just on a certain team, fighting and doing a certain objective. And while he probably won't have a massive role in the movie, I'm excited to see him nonetheless. And it doesn't stop there. We've got more mutants coming with Rebecca Romijn, I think is how you pronounce it, I'm not sure, returning as the original Mystique. I thought Mystique was one of the best parts of the original X-Men movies, especially X-Men 1 and 2. So seeing her return, I think, is going to be in line with the Nightcrawler stuff, just kind of doing some side mission-y things. But getting these actors and actresses to come back for this movie is super special, and it's what we've been wanting this entire time with the multiverse saga. And if you thought we were done with the X-Men and the mutants, no. We've got James Marsden returning as Cyclops. I swear I thought we were going to see James Marsden return as Cyclops in Deadpool and Wolverine, but I'm glad we're getting it now. This is definitely the last and only chance they have to make James Marsden's Cyclops memorable. Give him the comic suit, don't give him the leather thing from the original movie, let him be a leader, give this man some justice for what he has been doing with this character, or what he hasn't done yet with this character that I want them to do with this character. Another big shock that I just can't believe is real. Now we've got one more mutant to talk about, and that's of course my boy from Deadpool and Wolverine, Gambit. A character that I fell in love with while watching the original X-Men series as well as X-Men 97 and then appearing in Deadpool and Wolverine. Channing Tatum is returning to this role and I am so happy for him just because of the whole story of him trying to get this character greenlit for its own movie. Not only did he come back in Deadpool and Wolverine, but he's probably going to be not only in this movie, but in Secret Wars as well. And honestly, just give me him as Gambit and the stuff later on down the line when we finally do the full X-Men stuff. Now there's two more people on this cast that we have not talked about yet, and that's the two biggest heavy hitters in my opinion. We have number one, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. We knew he was going to be in this movie. It's not really a surprise considering we saw all of the other Fantastic Four members mentioned, but having his seat be positioned at the very end of the line next to the final titular character is kind of telling as what they're going to do with this character. I want comic book Reed Richards in this movie. I want him being a freak of science. I want him being a family man. I want him making tough decisions. I just can't wait to see how they do it. There's not really much more I could say about Reed Richards and Pedro Pascal because, well, we have a whole movie coming up in this year that's going to dive into that. And I guess that kind of ties into our final character that has been cast for this movie, and that is the titular character, Dr. Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr. Not really a massive surprise because we knew he was going to be in this movie, but to just see Robert Downey Jr. sit in that chair amongst all of these other A-list and B-list actors, this movie is going to be very expensive. I would not be surprised if this movie is like $500 million or close to $1 billion. Because like I said, there's a lot of characters and I'm going to make a video on it so I won't get too far into it, but like Spider-Man, like Doctor Strange, and so many others that didn't even get mentioned here. Where's Captain Marvel? Where's the Hulk? We don't have answers to those questions. But the way they've propped this up as being half Avengers, half X-Men, and Doctor Doom gets me really excited that they're going to go in line with the Secret Wars storyline where Doctor Doom makes a new world after these two universes collide. I'm going to make another video on this as well, but I get the feeling that this is going to be an Avengers versus X-Men movie hidden behind the Doomsday title. There's just so much to think about with this, so many amazing returns, and just getting to finally close the chapter on those older X-Men characters, which we thought we did in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it looks like we're really getting the finale now. I have so much to think about with this. There's probably going to be more news that's announced later on this evening that I will report on probably tomorrow. So guys, leave your comments down below. What did you think about this cast reveal, the way they did it? And also just let me know about the cast themselves. Who are you excited to see? Who are you maybe not excited to see? Are there characters that you wish were in this reveal? Let me know who those are down in the comments. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all very, very soon.